if ever music has been way too grandiose for what followed it.
Don't you ruin
It's
our
very dramatic.
Yeah. Oh, what did Josh Alexander say? Very Michael Bain.
It looks like we should be cut into the US Capitol building right now.
And on that note, welcome to Armchair Wrestling. And welcome to our first episode of 2021. I'm your host, as always, top boy number one booker, Alex Bennison. I'm joined by Lukewarm, Jack Robshaw.
I have now found out, and from seeing a video, done the maths. We were doing it first. Luke Owen did nick my gimmick, but I'm all right with it.
I'm not, motherfucker. And Mr. SoCo Uncensored himself, Casey.
Hey, how are we doing?
I guess there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah, Casey was a bit slow to respond there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit slow.
Hey, shut up.
Something said, not good.
Yeah, we are live here on the Buzz Network on WTB.com, so you can go follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And scrolling along the bottom, as courtesy of the Buzz, if you use code BUZZ2020, you get 20% off and free delivery at manscaped.com. So before we get into any of the wrestling news, I'm going to fall into the same pit trap of when we did the other one, because the video is still not fucking there.
Oh, God, such professionalism.
There's a variety of products at manscaped.com, which you would have seen if we had the promo video, but we don't. So go over to Manscaped.
The main one, Lawnmower 3.0, works really well.
Yes, and if you want it, go over to manscaped.com and use code BUZZ2020. Not only it helps us, it helps you. 20% off and free delivery. So, it's been a while since we've done a podcast, just us three.
It's been a while.
We've already got our first comment. Joe, what's up, guys?
Not much, Joe.
What's up?
We'll get on to him. God, the last time we did a podcast, just us three, that was released to the public, well, wrestling terms, was way before SummerSlam.
Jesus, is it that long?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, either SummerSlam or Survivor Series. One of the two.
I think Survivor Series, not SummerSlam. It can't be, surely.
I don't know. We've had a lot of interviews and, yeah, things. What? Why are you looking wrong?
It did sound. There was a weird squeaking noise.
You know what? I was hoping you won't fucking pick up on that.
You did
it's been, you know what? Every time I've recorded in this spare room, no one's ever heard it until this. Now people start hearing it.
Ah, bugger. Ah, well. You need to move house.
Or just a hamster.
Yeah.
But we're going to start off our first episode of 2021 on a sad note and something that took place at the very back end of 2020. The passing of John Huber, also known as Brody Lee or Luke Harper, depending on if you watch WWE, you didn't watch AEW. But a really sad story. Passed away from a lung disease. And, I mean, you can see how much he meant in the wrestling world just due to the outpour from wrestlers from all different companies, even independent stars that just had a chance to just speak to him. You can see how much he really meant in the wrestling community.
Yeah, it was horrendous news. Like, in terms of wrestling deaths, obviously I've been watching long enough now that there's been a few that have been like, current stars. This I think is the most one's ever got me. I don't know particularly why. I don't know why it's this one so much more than, say, Eddie Guerrero or anything like that. Because they were all very, very sad. But there was something about this one. It really, really got me. It's probably there's only ever been one celebrity death that really made me pretty much cry, and that was former Leeds footballer Gary Speed. And this is the closest wrestling has ever got. Like that tribute show, I was very close to breaking down about 5 times. I don't know if it's just because it's not even all the tributes now about what a family man he was and everything. Can you remember that WWE formerly known as that they made a few years ago?
Yeah.
And they just, showed some of his indie career and stuff. But even that was all about what a family man he was and stuff. So I already had it in my head when the news got announced. I don't know if it's that with my fiance being pregnant and stuff and whether it all just came together, but it really did get me somewhat rotten. It's so tragic. I feel so bad for his friends and his family. Like, especially his family. Like, those kids are young. It's so horrible.
Yeah, it was really tough watching the tribute show, and fair play to AEW for putting something like that together, because I think it was done in the most fantastic spirit of trying to lift people, giving them a level of, or giving them an outlet for their emotions whilst also working and still telling stories. The involvement of his son, and kind of giving him his own gimmick now as Negative One, and his involvement through the night. And it was just this thing where just through the night you were just switching between having this, I had this big smile on my face at times, and then other times, when John Silver broke down after that match, or you see Colt Cabana when he's coming out, really hard not to get caught up in that.
Yeah, the Colt one was really bad because I associate his face with being so cheerful so much of the time. So seeing his eyes like that really got me.
Yeah. I mean, I put it out on Twitter to say that we would probably talk a bit about a few of our favorite moments from him being in ring, because we obviously, the main things that we'll know him from are Wyatt family in WWE to his singles run and then into AEW as the Exalted One. I did ask other people if they wanted to come. If you're watching this now and you've got any memories of him or watching him live or any matches that specifically you really enjoyed, put them in the comments and we'll come through them all the way through the show. But I mean, there's so many moments in his WWE career that stand out to me. Things like his IC title matches with Dolph Ziggler, when he almost absolutely destroyed Dean Ambrose, throwing him through that ladder at WrestleMania, saving Mustafa Ali's life in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I mean, in ring, he was such a dominant force and such a good big man, which seems weird because it gets thrown around, does that phrase, being a good big man in the ring. But he was freakishly quick for his size and nimble as well.
Yeah, it was just a really great wrestler. Like, it was. I'm not gonna suddenly retroactively go, oh, he was always my favorite, because he wasn't. But I always liked him, and I've got plenty of memories with it. Obviously, the Shield Wyatt's stuff was amazing. Like, that was one of those few matches that WWE have had in the last maybe 10 years, where when they first set it up, you were like, right, here we go. This is the one. The IC title ladder match that him and Dolph had, which was brilliant. And I still, to this day, can't figure out why they never added him to the Orton Wyatt title match at Mania. I know he isn't. Yeah. I know he wasn't as big a name as them two, but that match was crap, and it'd have been so much better with him, and the story would have made sense.
Yeah, the way they told that story at first was obviously his distrust in Randy Orton and Randy Orton kind of having to win him round and earn his respect, essentially, to welcoming him into the Wyatt family, and then Randy Orton, in this case, metaphorically burning everything to the ground. Or did he burn down the compound in that one?
No, he did burn down the compound. He burnt it down.
Okay, right, fair enough. He's done a lot of burning as Randy Orton.
Yeah, and then you had, the projector on the ring and all of that stuff that was shite. Imagine instead of that shit singles match, you just had a good triple threat match instead.
I'm trying to think of what he did at that Mania.
Got Randy the ring on a chair.
I honestly don't know. Was he just in the Battle Royal? Was he just cornering for
Because I'm trying to think, that must have been the year before the Bludgeon Brothers won the tag titles in that 4-way. So I reckon he was... Oh, it might have been that year where he was on the Worlds Collide with Dijakovic the night before.
I thought that was... I think that was later.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that'll be way later.
2 years ago? Will that be?
Yeah.
It's way later because we didn't think he was ever going to come back on TV, and then he helped Rowan beat Reigns.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, his involvement in the AEW Tribute Show as well, that choked me up because he just doesn't look like someone who cries. And when he came out and he held that sign at the end of that match, that other than Jericho not calling him Eric Redbeard and just couldn't help himself calling him Rowan.
No, you see, I think that Jericho's right there because WWE are not going to sue them for that.
Jack, you don't know that. If they've done shittier things.
Everyone knows him as Eric Rowan. For that one night, you can call him Eric Rowan and no one's going to mind.
Because during that, it very much felt like JR was trying to correct him every time he said Rowan. It was like, it's Eric Rowan Redbeard. Eric Rowan Redbeard. Eric Rowan Redbeard.
Yeah, to be fair, Jericho was probably...
Eric Redbeard.
To be fair, Jericho was probably one step off telling JR to just fuck off and just call him Rowan constantly.
But I really, I know it was only a short run in AEW in the end, unfortunately, but it was a good run. The Dark Order were a joke. And I know that it wasn't like everyone likes them now that Brody Lee's dead. It had been turned around.
Yeah.
And they were nothing before he was revealed as the Exalted One. And it took a little while, but they got there and they turned it around. The whole group was getting popular. He, because of that dominant win he had over Cody Rhodes, was a serious threat. Everyone was very confused when he lost the belt straight away, but obviously that all makes sense now. But it was a really good run. And as much as it's awful that dog collar match was his final match, it was a good one.
Yeah. I mean, fuck COVID, because if the fans were allowed to be in the building when he was revealed as the Exalted One, I'd have loved to have heard that pop.
Yeah, when it was good, because it was going to be in Rochester, New York as well, wasn't it? It was going to be in his hometown.
Yeah, that would have been a fantastic response. Yeah, and it's amazing, because the one thing I never got bored of was the Dark Order all coming out for every single match, which I quite liked. And you just kept hearing throughout the night of how much he'd worked with some of the guys, and again John Silver wearing the same gear as him, obviously miniature. But I gotta say, through the night, I did think a number of the guys from the Dark Order also put in star-making performances. I thought Preston Vance in the main event, I thought he put in a great showing. I really enjoyed Anna Jane and Ty Conti. Obviously, John Reynolds and Alex Silver can do whatever they want at the moment. I love those two.
Yeah.
And Colt Cabana for the first time doing the Dark Order signal.
Yeah. Did either of you watch either of the last two being the Elites?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, because the last two, there's a Brody tribute that's pretty much all Dark Order, and then one that was like in and around the tribute show itself. And they're both very good. They didn't overdo it either.
Is this where the Eddie Kingston footage has come from?
Yeah,
because his speech backstage after that tribute show, like that's another thing that proper wells you up. And we know how good he is at cutting a promo, but you can tell that's straight from the heart.
Yeah, it was that was another one there. Enough time had passed that I'm not going to pretend that it nearly made me cry or anything, but it was the first time after a distance where I was like, wow, it really did get you. Like it was a hell of a speech that he gave.
Yeah,
it's sort of like they're completely different things and they're about completely different things. But you know that Paul Heyman speech before Barely Legal '97.
Yeah,
well, it was like that, but about a obviously completely different thing, completely different circumstances. But in that, I think that Eddie Kingston speech will be getting played in 20 years, in the same way Heyman one did. I think it'll stay. I think that'll stay around for ages, just because of how great it was.
Yeah, you did get some feel good moments coming from it, from the show and some videos afterwards. Like you've got -1, which is his son backstage just attacking people with kendo sticks constantly. The bit where MJF rips his mask off and he just whacks him between the eyes, which is fucking hilarious.
Honestly, when MJF first went up to him and got in his face, for the first time in about 15 years, the bit of my brain that remembered it was fake shut off. It just went. It only did it for about a second, but my brain went, "Don't you fucking dare!"
For me, I think the only moment of concern I had through the night was I've forgotten what they're called now. The guys who came out after the first 6-man. What's the tag team called? The Acclaimed. I kept wanting to call them the Ascension, but I know it's not the Ascension. But yeah, when the Acclaimed came out and like, listen, I know this is sad, and I was like, oh fuck, Jesus, this is a bit heavy.
It was quite clever booking to have someone come out to cut that promo and not even let them start.
Yeah. Look, I know he's a wrestler, and I dare say there is enough people in there that would know him that say this is what I would have wanted, but that is not what I wanted to hear. Was anyone uttering the sentence? Look, I know he's dead, but
I love the Eddie Kingston.
So glad because Henry Daniels came out.
The Eddie Kingston one on the show of Brody, I love you, I miss you, see you down the road. The Dark Order's nothing without you, and we're going to kick their ass.
They've teased it already on AEW Dark this week. -1 versus Marco Stunt. They have been pulled apart in the ring on Dark this week, so we might get a pay-per-view match of -1 versus Marco Stunt.
I wouldn't do that if I was them.
Who's taller?
-1.
But you know, if that's what he wants, if Brody's kid says I want a match, then yeah, fuck it, do it.
He's sad.
Make the kid happy.
Wait, he's a champion already
for life.
Yeah. Triple H wouldn't even book like that.
We obviously had to start on that note. And as always, everyone from Armchair Wrestling passes our condolences on to his friends and family. But we're going to work us back a bit further here. TLC. We missed TLC. We missed a lot of pay-per-views, but TLC is the most recent one.
Yeah. Well, I can't even... Oh, that was the one that was on my birthday, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
We're not going to go through every match. We're going to talk about a few key points. First off, Reigns versus Owens in that TLC match. Owens, you fucking monster.
Well, I mean, he is my favourite wrestler ever, so I'm never shocked when he's awesome.
I'm shocked he's still walking.
Yeah.
God, I love Kevin Owens, and this feud at the moment is one of the two that's keeping me interested at the moment in WWE as a whole.
Hell of a strike rate there, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's one per show, so I'll give them that, I suppose. But when
see, those 3 shows.
Yeah, NXT is its own thing. Just don't sully NXT by putting it with Raw and SmackDown. That doesn't deserve that. Yeah, I think Owens, in terms of wrestling acting, is fantastic, and I think clearly his ability to be able to kind of at least be given leeway with promos certainly helps things. And Roman Reigns' character is absolutely fantastic at the moment.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this because he's a heel. I wish that Reigns would win with... I think it'd be more effective with a little bit less interference. Just because Roman Reigns' character is that he's a badass who's better than everyone else. And now that he's heel, suddenly he can't beat anyone without cheating. And he's still good, and it's a nitpick of a complaint that I do think it should be a little bit less interference.
And if you WWE as well, oh no, what's the worst thing that could happen? We've got a really hot baby face on our hands. Oh no.
Yeah, until it gets 3 months down the line and we all turn on again.
I think Reigns at the moment has got a lot of goodwill in the bag. I think the run he was having before he went away at Mania was decent, and everyone was kind of on his side. And his heel work since he came back in his promo work's been so fun to watch. So yeah, I think he'd be good for a while.
If only they'd done it 5 years ago.
You knew fans were behind him when it got to the Goldberg match and he got pulled out and replaced by Strowman, and everyone went, "No, bring him back." Not Strowman.
No, we've still got to get around to Goldberg.
Yeah, we've still got to call it to Belly.
Oh, McIntyre's down, apparently. Mate.
Yeah, da.
Yeah, and the final thing for the TLC that I just kind of want to talk about, The Fiend is dead.
Pressed on fire.
Or he's Kane 2.0.
I for something so out there, I have very little to say. Like, it's just, it's so
bold.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is bold. But the
USA have said to them, "We need more adult content." Vince has gone, "I'll show you adult."
Yeah.
On fire.
You know what's more bold is the fans on Twitter that had to complain about this, because they all went, "Well, it's clearly a dummy that he set on fire. What did you want him to set actual wire on fire?"
It's like,
did you
those are the same people though that when they changed the elimination chamber and there was padding there, they went, "Oh, I can't believe they put pads there." You went, "You heartless bastards." Like, you genuinely want these people just landing on metal, do you?
Oh, the best bit was the RKO to the on fire Wyatt.
Ah, mate.
That was amazing.
Does that overtake the RKO on Seth Rollins or the Evan Bourne Shooting Star Press RKO?
Nothing beats the Rollins one. Nothing will ever beat the Rollins one. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, because Randy also looked pretty pleased with himself when he did that one.
Randy Orton was fucking happy all the way through that match because he knew that move was coming.
Yeah. Randy Orton nearly forgot to pin him because he was so happy.
You know what? I wouldn't have even blamed him if he did just walked out.
Just walk off, lose my count out, and go, "I'm never doing out cooler than that again. I'm having 6 months off."
But then it's followed up by next night. You've got mad, games when Alexa just throws petrol everywhere, then tips it over herself. He's like, "Go on, Randy, set me on fire, send me to hell." He's like, no, I'm not going to set you on fire. That's what you want me to do.
The worst part is, there is some pyromaniac somewhere who has imagined that for years.
That's a Tumblr fanfic somewhere.
Yeah. There is some Rule 34, Alexa Bliss on fire. There's some guy who has just been sat in, it's wrestling fans used for stereotype, in a basement. And ever since that happened, they haven't slept, they haven't eaten.
There is only Alexa on fire.
Yeah. Which, of course.
The worrying part of it, though, is like both for The Fiend and with if it had happened to Alexa, I still think the only sound I would have heard was Jim Ross on fire. Like, oh my God.
No, that's the sound that the guy in the basement was making.
You know what? The thing is, the ending of that Raw, you could have put Emmerdale theme at the end, where he's holding the match.
Oh, hang on. That's EastEnders.
That's EastEnders, not Emmerdale, mate.
Fuck.
Come on. If we're going to be doing a wrestling podcast, we need to get these references down.
Who watches soaps?
More people than watch Raw.
We'll move on then. Raw Legends.
Oh. Have you guys tried purchasing a new phone recently?
No.
Yeah, well, forget about your iPhones. There's the racist phone.
Yeah, it's funny how since he's come back, he's not wearing red and yellow. He's wearing a black t-shirt.
Mate, that man, like, actually, no, he probably shouldn't wear like a BLM armband because I don't think it'd go down well.
No, especially not right now because I've heard Hulk Hogan is storming the Capitol building as we speak.
He's carrying the Proud Boys on his back, Jack.
Apparently,
just grab on to the largest arms in the world. Stand down and stand by.
He's carrying fucking no one on his back with the amount of surgery this guy's had.
Just remember that Hulk Hogan is on record as saying, "Thank God Donald Trump's a Hulkamaniac."
Oh dear. Allegedly, he was walking around backstage and wondering why some of the young stars didn't want to speak to him.
That wasn't allegedly. He gave an interview about it where there was an interview where he said, "Oh, a lot of them treat me like I'm coming back to take their spot, and they're not very friendly towards me." And Big Swole quote tweeted and said, "Yeah, that's not why."
You could have taken.
Is it like the episode of Scrubs where all the Asian staff are giving JD the stink eye?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just passing by, and then like Big E just leaves his shoulder in as they walk past.
I mean, I was going to write a list of all the legends that appeared on the show, and when they appeared, then just no, because some of the segments are that pointless. Like,
now, I will say that my comparison point for this show was Raw 25, because that was the most hyped up show that was the poorest wrestling show. It's such, like, I understand bringing the legends back. Great. Fucking do something with them. And I don't mean a cards game. Like, I at least like the Randy Orton stuff. The Orton stuff I was quite happy with, that they vaguely incorporated some of them in there. I didn't know Mark Henry had done his leg in or whatever has happened to him. So he's like, well, yeah, and his little scooter.
Oh my God. Yeah, Orton, go on, wheel away.
And he did. He just pushes away, and it's so sad.
We'll come on to why the Orton stuff makes no sense later on in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great build to something that never happened.
Can someone explain to me why Miz is still Mr. Money in the Bank?
In kayfabe or in shoot?
Both.
In shoot, they're out of ideas. In kayfabe, Miz didn't cash in the briefcase. John Morrison did, and that's not allowed.
And so what happened was they Adam Pearce, who is just in charge now, and fair play to him, like that is a big promotion from booking Ring of Honor to now. He went away, he thought about it, and he just thought the easiest thing to do is just give it back to him.
Well, in fairness, I'm doing this on their behalf because I don't think they've done this. Miz had done a lawsuit with the whole Otis thing earlier, so they know he's very litigious. So they didn't want to fight that.
So easily. Also, I don't think that counts. I know it's wrestler's court, but I'm still saying JBL's not a judge. Like, I'm pretty sure if you took that to a real court, that contract does not hold up.
God, imagine instead of those tattoos that say only God can judge me, it says only JBL can judge me.
Oh, yeah. God.
Like, the Money in the Bank is such a great concept. Don't ruin it. Don't make it seem so frivolous.
Yeah, the first person who won the Money in the Bank this year just won the title. Apparently the title was inside it all along. The second one didn't even climb the ladder to get it, then lost it. It's like they don't plan these things.
I know. If only they thought things at least 6 months ahead for something like Money in the Bank. Because, like, that was the thing. Once Otis got it, not even with the briefcase, he just didn't do anything.
Hey, like, he carried his lunch in it.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. I mean, I did like the New Day just hijacking the opening segment and just doing their own segment.
Yeah.
And John Morrison just playing along.
Fuck the New Day. Teddy Long coming out and putting Miz and Morrison in a match against The Undertaker. For Adam Pearce to come out. He's retired.
Yeah. Adam Pearce, he must rack up some steps during the night. Because he's all over.
Yeah, do you remember who was it that got put in the back of the ambulance? Was it Reigns that got put in the back of the ambulance where he smacked it that hard that he popped his thumb out?
Jesus.
Is that Goldberg?
Goldberg and his doors. Yeah, out of all the legends that was on this show, Booker T and Jeff Jarrett only got put on the stage for the WWE title match. They didn't have a segment.
And to be fair, and fair play to Jeff Jarrett, you must say, because it's really hard to miss him on that stage with that hat. Like, at least he was just there going, they're going to see me tonight. They're going to see me.
He was just missing a big sign that was saying Jarrett for gold.
There was always... It happened again, though, didn't it, where there was a fair few people advertised that weren't there.
Where's Carlito? That's the one I was looking forward to.
The Rumble.
Maybe. Have they decided whether there's going to be some crowd yet for the Rumble?
Florida, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were meant to be in this COVID thing. They brought all these legends in and sat them right next to each other on the stage.
Don't bring Ric Flair in, for God's sake.
Yeah, but how else are they going to have another Charlotte is mad at Rick?
Oh my God.
I don't know if it was down to Rick or if it was just such terrible... Well, I think it was poorly booked anyway. But was it Ric Flair's fault that it looked so obvious that he was tripping his own daughter?
Yeah, he's blind.
Like, oh no, I got two people mixed up. I'm just going to grab the nearest leg.
I really hope WWE don't run with this and end up with Charlotte, Lacey Evans is your new stepmom.
I mean, I could easily see that being the case.
Are we making Ric Flair Al Wilson here?
Oh God!
Oh no, don't say that, Jack. No.
I'm not living through even a word to Ric Flair dies of a sex heart attack. Like, no, I'm not going through that.
Yeah, that's what Torrie Wilson's Hall of Fame speech was missing. Yeah, my dad got humped to death. Yeah, it really didn't work when Charlotte comes out of the ring, looks him in the eye and goes, "Get out of my life." And then 3 hours later posts a picture up of them on Twitter and goes, "I love you, Dad."
Yeah, she like apologized on Twitter. It's like they booked to turn a heel and thought, "Oh, we didn't mean to do that," and then just can you tweet an apology so you're a face again?
Even taking out the shit finish, Charlotte's been away for 4 months, 5 months, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Second match back. Let's pin her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why? Why do you? She's a champion, for God's sake. Like, don't pin your champions.
You wouldn't pin her to have her lose the fucking NXT belt, but you'll let her get pinned in this.
It's not this hard. Like, if you have it, imagine if you had, like, and I don't watch a lot of UFC, but imagine if just you had Conor McGregor just lose a match and just went against, like, someone who's not even in the top 10 contenders in the division, and then just went, yeah, but it's not for the belt, so it's fine.
You know what the worst part is about that example? If Conor McGregor lost to some nobody, he's still Conor McGregor and he could still have a title fight whenever he wants because he's the biggest star. So he's actually the worst possible example.
I'm saying this is him as champion.
Yeah.
You just go, well, he's not lost his belt, but...
Speaking of which, it kind of annoyed me all the way building up through this. So they had the Raw Women's Tag Team Champions lose. They had the Raw Tag Team Champions lose. The United States Champion lose. Then you got to the WWE title match and you went, he's not losing, is he?
Shall we talk quickly about the Lashley Riddle finish?
Well, just the Lashley Riddle match, where the babyface jumped the heel before the belt and then the babyface cheated to win.
Yeah.
Bro. Normally, booking like that, I do associate with the word bro, but it's a different style of the word bro, a bit more New Yorky.
Listen, bro.
Listen, bro, you is gonna win the match, but you's gonna have to cheat.
Yeah, there's a lot went on though, because poor Ricochet's, I don't know if he's on the verge of therapy or something at the moment. He's pouring his heart going, man, it's really hard to keep. I'm trying to do this in the most boring voice I can think of. Man, it's really hard to believe in yourself when you keep losing these matches.
You know what I found funny?
Trying to stay strong.
You know what I find funny? Your voice did not change whatsoever. And that doesn't bode well because we were an audio podcast.
Yeah. Ricochet, poor man, keeps losing. Clearly has no friends.
There's loads of things that we can go through on this. I was really pissed off when I knew Angel Garza was losing when he was going round and trying to hit on all the women legends that was backstage, and then the boogeyman.
You can just call them legends these days.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fairness, I'm glad he specified, because otherwise I'd have got this image of Angel Garza giving a roast to Tatanka.
To be honest,
and Tatanka just chopping it.
Tribal dance, chop.
Yeah, he gets rolled up by Truth. and
No.
subsequently loses the 24/7 belt, but just lays there and looks at him while he celebrates.
Yeah. My main thing, because I don't care about the 24/7 title even more than most people, and no one cares. My main thing is, when did Angel Garza become flirts with women and he's really unsuccessful at it? His gimmick was that he was really charming and was like everyone thought that it was the hottest thing in the world.
I mean,
That was his
gorgeous, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the man? I would.
Yeah. Can I throw out my takeaway from that segment? Fair fuck Satori Wilson for skipping in those heels, because that was a concrete floor, and that is an ankle-breaking hazard right there.
It's the most graceful she's ever looked on WWE TV.
I dare say.
No. Her and Sable selling that Playboy Cup.
I was going to say, like, I dare say she's an incredibly athletic person, just not in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Not in a wrestling ring. Lovely person, though.
Yeah, the reason why he's now, unsuccessful, he got injured.
Did his face get injured?
He should. Cody Rhodes gimmick. We'll go on to the title match then. Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre, who can push a sword through a stage.
Yeah, this at the very least, if nothing else, match was good.
I don't want them to keep overdoing this. Keith Lee shoves people over the barrier spot, because the big gift came from the Adam Cole into the NXT crowd and everyone popped for it. Then he did it into the barriers with Johnny Gargano, I think it was. And then he did it again to Drew. I don't want it to become one of these overused spots.
The worst one was the one with John Morrison a couple of weeks ago, where John Morrison jumped like 2 whole seconds early. So he just launched himself off at top rope, and then Keith Lee got there.
I forgot what I'm doing. Explosion! Ah! I told you that the thing I want to see come back from Keith Lee is just like tight close up of someone, and then Keith Lee just appearing behind them, just like I can't remember which NXT match it was when he just appears on the apron behind them. And because that's all you saw, and everyone's just like, "Oh shit, son!"
Yeah, but you have to remember that was NXT Keith Lee, who is a completely different human.
Yeah, he don't get sent to the Performance Center to try and lose weight. Now they
just like Keith. I love Keith Lee. I am losing hope that he's ever going to be Keith Lee again.
Yeah. To be fair, though, there was one spot where Drew goes for the Claymore and he just catches his foot and drops him.
Yeah. That, and there was the giant Spanish fly.
Where he looked like he was going to break his goddamn neck.
Yeah. Well, he did it with Dijak, didn't he, in NXT? And landed on his own face.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
Got to give it that.
I think everybody went into this match, although everyone wants Keith Lee to have a massive push. Everyone knew McIntyre was walking away with the title.
I think McIntyre winning on this one is the right call. I personally wouldn't have booked this match because I think it takes away the possibility of Keith Lee winning the Rumble. It doesn't make it impossible. It just makes it make less sense if he does. So I wouldn't have booked this match so near the Rumble. But it was the right one.
At this rate, AJ's bodyguard's going to win the Rumble.
I'll tell you what, that spot was great.
That way he kicked the guitar was fantastic.
That spot was great.
I don't like Jackson Riker, but fair play, he sold that kick.
Yeah. By the way, they've changed how it's pronounced.
Oh, almost.
Almost. It was Amas today on Raw. I don't know if they just kept screwing it up, but they said Amas like loads of times.
Don't worry. He'll just be Mass soon.
They'll take away his only name, so he'll just be...
Yeah.
Jackson Riker sold that really well.
If you're listening to this, it's just me gesturing.
Yeah, it'll be a Yorkshireman saying the word "the."
Jackson Riker sold that guitar spot really well, then ran backstage and ran all the way to Washington.
I knew where you were going with that at the start of the sentence.
Listen, going up against Omos, there are so many ways you could have taken that with Jackson Riker.
I mean, we've spoken about Raw for a very long time, and we might as well wrap up with the final bit of Raw, which is Goldberg coming out because he can't sit with the other legends. He's too busy headbutting doors.
There's a thing that needs to be said before Goldberg coming out. That the Keith Lee and Drew match went long, so they cut Drew's promo. Which is why when Goldberg came out and said, "You're disrespecting the legends. You don't have enough respect for us." When Drew had said no such thing, he was meant to have said something.
Yeah, it was very odd. It's just like, I agree, Josh. I agree.
For anyone who's listening to this, the audio version, we've got a comment from Josh DeBard that just says, "Fuck Goldberg."
Because, like, one, yes, he doesn't have time to get it out, to get his promo out. And the only thing you'd heard earlier in the night was Drew hanging out with, the racist and the mouth of the South. And he was fairly respectful to them too. Bit of a dick to Shamo, but, that's fine. Goldberg comes out and calls him disrespectful, which is just like, but he's not. He's been quite nice all night.
Yeah,
also, if anyone's disrespectful, you're the one who didn't sit with the legends. You're the one who held you a little bit in the back.
Let's say I was more thinking, it's a good job they didn't have a different current roster superstar going round all night disrespecting the legends. They set up Randy Orton to get this promo cut on him, and then he cut it on Drew. And with that, you two keep going because I am afraid that I'm going to have to nip upstairs because there was just a weird noise. So I'll be back in a few minutes.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, Goldberg just decide, as Goldberg typically does, just announcing himself as the number one contender.
Yeah, walk in.
Like Adam Pearce, where are you then? Like, just walking. No. That's not how this works. You don't get to decide your number one contender at the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. That's not how this works.
He's got some fucking power as Adam Pearce. He can choose whatever the fuck he wants. Maybe he told Goldberg, you can have this match and you can sign the contract halfway through the match.
Right. I'm saying now, if Goldberg wins the title and then Drew goes on to win the Rumble match that night, I'm fucking done. It's up there with Lacey and Natalia. I am done.
Oh my god. We've got a comment from Josh here. He's roasting him on RSH tomorrow. If you're watching this live now, RSH is on Thursdays at 11 p.m. over here, 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you go check that out. If you're listening to this audio-wise, go check out Regularly Scheduled Hostilities or RSH Wrestling on Twitter. They were on for our end-of-year awards last year.
Yeah, strictly speaking, last year. I mean, it was about 2 weeks ago, but yeah, last year.
Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. But we've also got a fantastic range of shows on the Buzz. So whilst we wait for Jack to come back, I'm going to play a quick live show rundown for the live viewers so you can see what goes on the Buzz. And then hopefully Jack might be back from that weird noise. If not, fuck him.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Do we see the confetti fall? Be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you all know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look with the top dish. Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, switch. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. This is how champions are made, but it never happens in a day.
You know what? I've seen that promo so many times, but I just watch you during that now because I can just see you bobbing along.
Oh, you can see me during that. Fair enough.
Well, to be fair, that was pretty goodish timing for Jack to come back.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, so we were on about Goldberg, and to be honest, it helps us with one of our final topics, which is a little look towards the Royal Rumble. We know.
I'm just going to say now, did either of you watch Wrestle Kingdom?
No.
Well, we won't bother then. Wrestle Kingdom was good.
Of course it was. It's always good. I don't watch Japanese wrestling.
I've seen a GIF of Jay White being suplexed onto the back of his neck. It was Wrestle Kingdom, though, so I expected it. We know, obviously, now Goldberg versus McIntyre for the title. I'm guessing not just us three, but the entire WWE fan base are going, for God's sake, please, Drew, just win.
They're not going to do that again.
You did just miss Jack, me saying the outside shot of Goldberg winning the title so Drew could then win the Royal Rumble.
No, I must admit, as much as I never, ever, ever, ever want to see Goldberg wrestle, this is preferable to Goldberg winning the Rumble and then facing Reigns.
Josh has put title versus title, Reigns versus Goldberg at Mania.
Oh, God, and now I'm scared. Have you plugged RSH, by the way?
I have. We've just done all that.
Come on, Jack.
Why you went and inspected your noise?
Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, Sarah had knocked a load of stuff over, and I had to pick it up because she's 6 months pregnant.
So lazy.
Yes, lazy.
We spoke a little bit about it in our end of year awards. Any turns? Got any ideas of who you think might be a Rumble forefront winner now?
Current booking, I'd probably say Daniel Bryan.
They've announced what? Who's announced themselves so far? There's Bryan, Lashley. Is that it?
I think so. There hasn't been many.
Isn't Bryan won as well?
I think he was. I don't think they've announced any order yet.
I think Daniel Bryan has, or it's been leaked that Daniel Bryan is number one in the Rumble.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, I could do that.
I saw it on Twitter.
And then CM Punk will be number 2, and those two guys will last for it. I'm back in 2013.
I was going to say 1 and 2 going all the way. You're back in 1995, I think.
I think those two lasted for 8 because was it 2012, 2013 when they did those two together as 1 and 2? I could be making all this up.
I honestly can't remember.
You might be mixing them two up with Jericho and Ziggler because I'm sure that was the first two.
Those two up with Jericho and goddamn Ziggler.
You know what? If Daniel Bryan is first, we've got a whole host of like seconds who return would just be funny. Like Justin Roberts comes back because, you know, choked him with a tie.
Wow.
Eric Rowan, because they went to save the planet together, then he got fired.
Old Eric Rowan comes back.
They are the two.
No, I'd say at the minute, once they, at the minute, the thing that makes the most sense is Bryan and Reigns. But like, I still think you could do it with Keith Lee, even though they've put the IC on him. But I don't. With Keith Lee, Big E, not Keith Lee.
Keith.
Keith E. I don't know what happened then. I think I just was. It's because we were on about him earlier. But yeah, I think they could still do the Big E thing, but I don't think they will.
Right. Sorry. Fuck you, Alex. It was 2011.
All right.
CM Punk #1, Daniel Bryan #2.
Yeah.
How dare you think I got those two mixed up with Jericho and goddamn Ziggler?
Was that? We're not going to go through this again because we did it on an episode before. Is that the one where he got concussion?
No, that's 2014.
Right. Okay.
That was his last appearance.
Yeah.
Nothing happened at all after that.
No. What was I going to say now?
Have you got anyone for the women, either?
I had Charlotte because I didn't think they would bring her back at TLC. I thought it would just be too soon. But
Well, she's just lost a match, so yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Tamina?
Yeah. Now, as I said the last time that we brought this up, I said Bianca, and I still think Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I'd actually really like to see Bianca win it.
Yeah.
To go against Asuka or Banks?
Either or.
Either would be great. Either would be great, but
you know what?
Probably Banks.
And go back to NXT, and we'll all be happier.
And do a Charlotte and appear on all three brands.
No, just go back to NXT. It's a happier place.
Yeah. To be honest, actually, because in my head I've got Bryan facing Reigns, the other Rumble winner would probably go on to Raw, so it probably would be Asuka.
In my head, I've got Rhea Ripley coming up and winning.
Yeah. Well, I believe ages ago when I bet on two people, those were the two.
What, Bryan and...
No, for the women's, I had money on Bianca and Rhea a while ago.
Fair enough. I'm struggling for males winners, so I'm going to stick with what I said at the end of year awards, which was AJ, because it's one of the last things that he has to do in his WWE career now.
I don't know. How do you eliminate someone as tall as Omos?
Yeah, that is true. Because as we know, the biggest person always wins the Rumble.
Yeah,
it's just nailed on.
No, I would like to see AJ win, but to be honest, like, unless they do something in the next couple of weeks, there's no one who is a particular standout at the moment. They're doing a really good job of not making anyone look strong.
Well, I think I said this on the end of year one. One way to make the Rumble really unpredictable is to not book anyone well.
Yeah.
Like,
just do it like what happened in like SmackDown versus Raw when I stimulated my Royal Rumble, and then I know you didn't have to stick to booking logic, but because you play in a wrestling game, you kind of have to. And I had to put Charlie Haas in the main event of WrestleMania. Like, that's what happens. I literally give everyone a number and then just in another bucket, like, just draw the name out and go, oh, well.
I don't think it's a good idea, but it did just jump in my head. When is Rollins due back?
He was meant to be on SmackDown's New Year's.
Fox advertised him, but WWE didn't.
Yeah, I wonder if that might be his first appearance back, and there's always a possibility of that.
him winning his second Rumble. You know what? Actually, I'm looking forward to this Rumble not having Roman Reigns in.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Finally.
What is it? He's won or come second in all of them.
Except for one where he came third.
Yeah.
There's still time.
If he does a fucking Lesnar now.
There's always a chance.
It's going to be Lesnar.
There's always a chance of that.
Oh.
Lesnar versus Reigns, as Lesnar is the baby face.
That would be, by the way, I'd almost like to see that. Because it'd be so hilarious watching Twitter explode. If they went, really? Main event, you're doing Lesnar and Reigns again, and this time it's heel versus heel.
The only thing is, it would give them a chance to correct the way they booked him for Money in the Bank. Because if Lesnar just comes in at 30, and like, the way I always picture it is, for those of you that have watched like Avengers Endgame or something like that, is just where everyone is just trying to pile on Thanos just to stop him. And Lesnar's just like killing them one by one by one. And then you get like Big E's just becomes Captain America. He's like, no, I'm going to put up one last stand. And then Lesnar just kills him anyway. And then wins. Just to, because if you're going to do it, go all in and just have him murder people.
I'd
have him pick up Drew Gulak and just throw him like 10 yards back up the ramp.
I'd fucking love it if he ran in, eliminated everyone, but didn't see Keith Lee laid in the corner. Does throws John Morrison over the top rope, goes to do his thing, and then Keith Lee does that running, just pushes him over.
Just delivers the pounds.
Fucking turns into Monty Brown.
Hey, this is the Royal Rumble. Marcus Corvon.
I'd kill for Monty Brown.
Speaking of which, I'm sure that someone said like he was backstage a couple of months ago at WWE.
I do remember seeing someone on Twitter that it was thinking about a comeback. I do remember seeing something about that.
If you're going to go anywhere, please go to Impact.
Oh, I'm sure that's where it would be.
But anyway, we have run through 3 topics really well, and that's not like us.
I don't know if you could say well. I think that's a bit self-aggrandizing. Competently.
He's still pushing it, Jack.
But that'll do us for our first episode of Armchair Wrestling in 2021.
We should be able to make this more regular now because we're all in lockdown anyway.
Lockdown 3.0.
Yeah, just what everyone wanted to hear. More of us.
Yeah.
I really put paid to the slight glimmer of hope I had of us watching the Rumble together.
Either way, I now have to say that unfortunately some of those US Capital jokes might not have aged well because apparently someone's just got shot.
Ah, Christ.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you do it live and you can't really edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the audio version. Don might have some work in his hands.
Yeah, that's a way to brush off it. Well, anyway. If you want to check up on any of the shows that you saw in the promo that we played when Jack went to go check on the noise, they are all on The Buzz at WTB.com on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks to The Buzz, we also have a promo code for manscaped.com, which is Buzz2020, which gives you 20% off and free delivery. Also, these are going on sale at some point this year. So make sure that you follow us over on Twitter at Armchair Wrestle 1. I mean, you might not want it, but
we'll buy it anyway.
Fucking get it and give it to someone as a gift. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Even if it's someone you don't like.
I'll tell you what, with marketing and salesmanship like that, it's no wonder that Manscaped really got on board with us.
They had to jump on. There's some people that have said to me, Jack, have you noticed that Armchair Wrestling has the momentum of a runaway freight train? How are you so popular?
Oh, good.
2 podcasts, 2 Simpsons references. I like it.
It had to be done.
Yep.
If you want to hear more of Jack and Casey and their Simpson references, you can check out their Leeds United podcast, which is at Mighty Whites Pod on Twitter, and on Facebook at Mighty Whites Podcast, and YouTube at Mighty Whites Pod.
The YouTube channel now. There's a question.
At least you made it to the YouTube channel. Alex asked me the Twitter handle, and I didn't know.
The YouTube channel is Mighty Whites Podcast.
And check out Through It All Together as well, where they write Leeds United articles.
Yes. Yes.
Also,
exactly what we do.
Also go to MedicineRoomStudios.com or Medicine Room Studios on Facebook. Obviously, due to COVID and lockdown and things, recordings aren't happening, but you can do remote sessions. So hit them up if there's anything that you want recording, whether it be podcast music or any video stuff like that. Make sure you check that out. But that'll do us for this episode of Armchair Wrestling. I've been your host, as always, Top Boy Number 1 Booker Alex Bennison. I've been joined by Lukewarm Jack Robshaw and Mr. SoCo Uncensored himself, Casey.
Well, cheers, guys.
And we'll see you on the